I'm going to introduce you to somebody you will enjoy at a personal and professional level. I had such a ball when I got acquainted with her, learned her story, learned her background. And like many people, particularly creative people, by the way, she's a complicated person. She's not a simple individual. She has a lot of different drives in different ways. She serves a lot of masters. Her job in life is partially to keep people entertained and keep them engaged. That's typically something that talented people or creative people do. She also has a job, by the way, of generating revenue, commerce, doing business. Oftentimes those two urges or drives or capacities are in a little bit of conflict. Not always, but many times. You'll find creative people struggling with the business world. But I believe she has a bridge internally, and she's going to provide a bridge right now. You listen to her in the mornings on US 92. She's a charming lady. Please welcome our new friend, Miss Angie Stenger, everybody, right here.
Okay. Hi. That was not the intro I was expecting. Okay, hi.
Get ready. There'll be more things coming that you don't expect.
I'm pretty sure that's going to happen.
Because you're one of those people that's okay with that.
Okay, let's talk.
You're spontaneous, you're unpredictable. And but this is what I find interesting about you. We talk about success. You come from Indiana.
Grew up in Iowa, then went to college in Indiana and worked in Indiana at a radio station there for years. And
yeah. And then you made some kind of a pivotal decision in your career. I mean, what did you wake up one day and say, Norfolk?
No.
It's like you heard Evan Bartle's song.
Yes.
And it was pulling you.
Yes, that's exactly.
But you lost your phone and then you didn't held it out. Never.
Journey, not a ride.
Yes.
I was in Indiana working at a radio station. Had been there about 6 years.
Yes.
Went on a mission trip. Felt like I was 28 years old.
Was on a mission. Yes.
I was on a mission. Didn't know what it was. 28 years old, and I went to China for a month to teach English. And I came back and I'm like, okay, maybe I should be a teacher. Maybe. And so I started praying and I said, okay, God, where do you want me? Am I supposed to stay here? And that went on for... Did
you have a vision then?
No, but bizarre situation happened is that I kept going, all right, where am I supposed to be in life? Is this what I'm supposed to do? And in fact, I registered, started the master's program to go back to school and still kept working. And then,
so you had 1 foot here, but you're 1 foot in the future.
Because I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. And I was working at the time, or had been working with a man named Mike Flood that a few people in this state and town know. And he had come back to go to law school, but was missing being in radio. And so he decided to start this radio station. And I said, well, what are you going to do for sales? Who's going to do this?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. We're just going to do it. And I said, we should talk. And so we started talking. And so at that time, from the first minute Michael and I started talking.
Yes.
Over the next few weeks, I started praying, okay, God, should I move to Nebraska? And God kind of threw this thing at me and said...
Well, Nebraska is very high on God's list of priorities.
Exactly.
Just so you
Seriously.
know.
But the thing is God kind of went, you just asked me where you wanted to be. I've thrown this in your lap. Shut up and move. And so, 14 years ago, last month...
Where's Pastor Lee? He would say, trust your intuition, right? Trust that feeling. That's called a calling in the ministerial world. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, so my calling was Norfolk, Nebraska. Mike Flood convinced me it was paradise. And 14 years ago, May 2nd, Norfolk became home.
Awesome.
And so, and that's that story of how I got here. Mike and I got to be, when I was growing up or in the early radio years, I always said I wanted to own a radio station. And Michael gave me that opportunity by giving me a part of the company for moving here. And we have moved on and been successful and been able to add to our family of radio and taken it to a next level. And it's been great. And I give all that credit to Mike because he has a vision that most people don't understand in the world. I'm not the visionary, but I'm really good at being the person that can put it together and make it work. And I think that's a great partnership. He has the ideas and I have the...
Get it done.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's a conceptual leader.
Yes.
And you're the implementer.
Yes. Oh, excellent description.
Would that be
yes.
accurate?
And it's worked very well for the last 8-9 years when he was in the legislature. He still has those concepts. He would call and say, I want to do this. And I could take it, and together we could make it work. And so it has been a great partnership, and as we continue to grow and work on things, and It's fun. It's a strange partnership because we only see each other about once every 3 weeks right now, but it's been a very good success. And I give, like I said, the credit that is our radio stations, I give to him because it's his vision, but it is because our staff works together to carry out that vision.
Okay, so it's a cohesive group as well.
Yeah.
But this is a very interesting thing. If you ask somebody why they quit a job, for instance, about 80% of the time they'll tell you it's because I don't really like my boss, or I don't really enjoy the person that I work with.
Trying to think who's quit. No.
Well, those are statistics.
They're on my list. No, I'm just kidding.
That's just kind of a neutral assertion. But I mean, obviously that's the opposite of where you're at. That you have a great bond, you have a sense of loyalty, you're on the same page, you got a mission that you're with, and it seems to be you have some equity, or you're participating in the progress and evolution of the station. Is that right?
Yes, very
Awesome.
much so. And it's great to be able to do that and work together, but it's also great to be able to do that with when we started 14 years ago, we had 5 people working. And today on full and part-time staff, I want to say we're over 30. With summer help, we're over 40. And so it's great to work with. You keep talking about passion. We are a passionate group that we have a lot of fun. But we also work really, really, really hard. We had an amazing event this last weekend with our Laugh and a Half Marathon on the rock station.
Yes.
It's the passion of our people to work together, and we're all there for 1,007 hours, but we're doing it together.
Kind of worked overtime.
Exactly, but it's great.
So nobody said, hey, I got to get home,
Right.
I mean,
everybody was there at 4 a.m. and everybody was there when it was over. And
well,
so-
Angie, I hear the success and I hear your definition of cultural success, organizational success. That's good. Let's move deeper into your personal philosophy. And if somebody were sitting right in front of you right now and said, I kind of want to be like you or move into the world that you're in, let me tell you, I've learned a few things, right? What would be the 2 or 3 things that you would have to share that would help somebody live a, quote, more successful life or career?
Steve McNally took all my words I was going to say.
He took all the words, great.
Because
we'll be wrapping up then.
No, it truly is about being connected. There is nothing that me personally believes more, and Mike and our group in general, we believe in service to this community. We believe that you volunteer, and when you do, you're connected and you're giving to this community. It's the whole world of karma. It's going to come back, and it's going to come back in a good way. And so I learned about karma in Norfolk. I love this idea. What I really like, and Pastor Lee mentioned it too. You talk about the greater good, volunteering. Having those kinds of considerations in your mind, as well as getting that promotion, making a sale, blah blah blah. And I grew up in that realm. My family was in business. My parents were in business, and that's what you did. You did what was needed for the community. In our growing up, it was more in the church realm. But even I went to a college that their motto is culture for service. And so it's all, I've lived it my entire life, and we've brought it here. And our staff, we say, you want to get involved? Let us pay your dues in the Lions Club, the Kiwanis Club, what it is. As long as you're involved in being in the community, we want you there and we want you to be a part. And I think that is what is so great about who we are, but I also think that's what's so great about Norfolk. We saw it today. Everyone's wanting to volunteer in whatever situation is happening.
In the tragedy in Pilgrim, absolutely.
Yes, and so volunteering is the key to success, I think, period.
Wow, that's a big insight. Let's go for one more insight.
All right.
We're going to go fishing right now. A lot of people would say, well, you're an expressive person, you're a creative person.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That would be you. You're fairly expressive. You professionally express yourself every morning on US 92 and so on. A lot of people aren't like that, and they feel like they need to be like that to succeed. Maybe they don't interview strong, or you know what I'm getting at. What advice would you give to those people? Would you say, oh, that's just how I am, you go be your thing? Or would you say, how to connect with other people, I think is what I'm really trying to ask you. Any thoughts about that?
I think it is all about being yourself. I am not a fan of people who, I think it's great to adapt, that I'm going to speak to your level if I'm going to try to, match your energy. But I also think it's also very important to not be fake.
Yeah.
I've dealt with people in business that they
feel unauthentic?
Oh, they are
inauthentic?
My word is chameleon.
Okay.
They are, if they are around me, they're trying to like the things I like, but I see them somewhere else and they're trying to like those. And I'm like, okay, that's one thing to mesh with somebody and be connected with them.
Yes.
But don't be fake about it. And it took me till I was about 30 years old to say, this is who I am. You're going to have to deal with it. And
but when you're in
good, bad, or
sales, sometimes
otherwise.
you have to persuade people.
I understand there's some
You
persuasion.
have, which means you have to be liked or accepted or whatever, and that can be a prison in itself.
True.
I think that's what you're commenting on right there.
Well, it is a persuasion, and I understand the value. But you also, yes, finding that point to connect with someone.
Yes.
But if they know that you're just saying that because you are trying to sell them, you're not going to get anywhere.
Sure,
it's
sure.
This message all night has been interconnectedness and being
It
connected
has.
to the community, being connected to people. And my advice is to be real, be who you are, don't be a chameleon.
Evan Bartles, we heard earlier tonight. We're going to bring him back tonight, by the way. Did you think that's a good
great.
idea? Yeah, have him say one more time. He said something about the community that I thought was powerful. People listened, everybody. And he said, Norfolk, he said, it's about the people, right? It's all about your people. Make some final comment about that, about this community and the people, and why they're different or distinctive, and why that inspired me in this particular case to write a song. What would be your perspective on that?
I look at Norfolk and the Norfolk community as truly I don't know how to say the words right, but a Midwestern wonderful community of people that care, that step up when needed, that do what's needed to grow this community. I've been involved with the Chamber of Commerce, I've been involved with a lot of things, and it's great to see people in this area making the effort to figure out what are we going to do to grow. And I think as a community and as the people, we have worked hard at that, and it's going to continue to build over the next few years.
And we're actually trying to get that done right here.
Right,
and
over
right
the
now.
next 20, 70, 80 years.
All right. Well, Angie Stenger, you've been very generous, and I just keep asking questions, and I keep getting good answers. I'm going to cut it off right now. Thank you. Thank you so much. Angie Stenger, everybody, from US 92, 94 Rock. Talented lady, creative and expressive, my kind of human being. I love that very much. Thank you so very, very much.